In the frozen heart of the Viking world, a single moment decided whether light would return or darkness would tighten its grip. Yule, the ancient Norse midwinter festival, was far more than a seasonal celebration. It was a cosmic event where rituals, sacrifices, sacred trees, and divination shaped the fate of the world. But what hidden meanings were woven into these ancient traditions? And how did the Vikings believe their actions could influence the very balance of the universe? Before we begin, remember to subscribe to our channel, Best of History and Mythology, leave a like, and activate the bell so you never miss a new journey into history and mythology. In the far northern lands, the arrival of midwinter marked a moment of tension between darkness and survival. Each day the sun dipped lower, its light faint and fragile across the frozen horizon. To Viking communities, this was not merely a seasonal shift, but a cosmic warning. The weakening sunlight signaled a world slipping into shadow, and only through awareness and ritual could the balance be restored. This fragile period became the heart of what later generations would call the Norse winter solstice, a time rich in ancient meaning and intense spiritual focus. As the sun reached its lowest point, families across the north gathered around their hearths to witness what they believed to be the turning of the year. The solstice was seen as the sun pausing on the edge of darkness, preparing to rise again with renewed strength. The moment felt sacred, and many believed the world was holding its breath. This perception gave rise to a deep sense of vulnerability, one that shaped the customs and mindset of early Scandinavian peoples. The long nights also carried an atmosphere of mystery. The frozen world outside the wooden longhouses appeared suspended in time. Villages remained quiet except for the crackling of fires and the rhythmic sounds of winter winds. Inside, people observed signs in nature, noting subtle changes that hinted at the sun's gradual return. Such signs were considered essential for understanding the midwinter turning, a rare moment when the natural world revealed hints of hidden knowledge. Across these winter nights, the themes of protection, renewal, and cosmic order shaped the atmosphere of the season. Households prepared special fires meant to reinforce the presence of light, believing that these flames symbolically encouraged the sun's journey back to the sky. The warmth of the hearth became a shield against the uncertainties of the season. The return of light was not taken for granted, but treated as a fragile victory that needed human participation to be fully realized. This chapter of Viking life reflects a profound respect for the rhythms of the natural world. The winter solstice was not only a celestial event, but also a powerful reminder of humanity's place in a harsh northern landscape. Through their observations, traditions, and watchful attention, the Norse people felt connected to forces far greater than themselves. Their experience of midwinter shaped the spiritual foundation of what would later become one of the most enduring celebrations of the ancient North. As winter tightened its grip on the northern lands, Viking communities turned to the blot, a ritual offering believed to strengthen the forces that sustained their world. These ceremonies were held in sacred spaces, often near ancient wooden temples or open-air altars where the presence of the gods was thought to be strongest. The offering of life was seen as a direct exchange, a way for humans to participate in the unseen rhythms that shaped fate and prosperity. Through these rites, people sought to maintain harmony between the mortal realm and the divine powers guiding the cycle of seasons. Among the most respected rituals of this period was the midwinter blot, dedicated to deities associated with abundance and protection. Animals chosen for the ceremony were treated with solemn reverence, for their life force symbolized vitality returning to the land. The act itself was carefully performed by designated ritual leaders who understood the spiritual laws that governed such offerings. Their gestures, chants, and the placement of symbolic objects were all part of a tradition passed down through generations. Participants believed that when the offering was accepted, a bridge between the human world and the divine briefly opened. The gathered community shared portions of the ritual feast that followed, believing that consuming the blessed meat strengthened their bond with the gods. The communal aspect of the blot was as important as the sacrifice itself. It was a moment when individuals reaffirmed loyalty, clarified responsibilities, and prepared mentally for the challenges of the coming year. This shared meal was not simply nourishment, but a symbolic renewal of unity and purpose, essential for survival in a harsh climate. Observing the natural world during these rites was considered vital. The way fire behaved, the color of the rising smoke, and the reactions of animals present at the scene were all interpreted as signs. These details guided the community's understanding of divine favor or warning. Such interpretations shaped decisions about farming, travel, and defense. The blot, therefore, served not only as a spiritual obligation, but also as a practical tool for planning the future. The power of these ceremonies rested in their ability to connect ordinary people with forces far beyond their control. In a world where the environment could be unforgiving, the Viking belief in ritual exchange offered reassurance and direction. Through the blot, they affirmed their role in maintaining balance and supporting the renewal of the natural and spiritual worlds. If you lived in a world where winter threatened your survival, do you think you would take part in a ritual sacrifice to protect your community? Share your thoughts in the comments. Across the northern landscapes, evergreen trees held a unique place in the spiritual imagination of the Norse people. Their ability to remain vibrant despite the cold made them powerful symbols of endurance. Villagers sought out these living markers of resilience during the darkest time of winter, believing that evergreens carried a hidden strength that connected the physical world to the deeper forces of nature. Their presence near homes and gathering places was considered a protective element against the long nights. This respect created an early form of winter tree veneration, now echoed in many later traditions. In forest clearings or near ancient gathering sites, certain trees were regarded as living guardians. These sacred evergreens were not chosen at random. Their size, age, and location influenced their spiritual significance. People believed these trees held an unbroken link to the cycles of the earth, drawing subtle power from the soil even when everything else seemed asleep. Approaching one of these trees was done with caution, as many thought the spirits of ancestors or natural beings favored such places. These locations became quiet sanctuaries during the winter season, where people could reflect on the world's fragile balance. Branches taken from sacred evergreens were often placed inside homes during midwinter. Their scent and color offered reassurance that life persisted even in the deepest cold. Families used these branches as talismans, seeing them as symbols of vitality and renewal. Their presence reminded households that the returning light required support and mindfulness. This simple yet meaningful gesture helped maintain morale during the long freeze and shaped the early foundation of the evergreen tradition associated with ancient northern festivals. The selection of the Yule log, another treasured practice, followed a similar belief system. A large, sturdy piece of wood was chosen from a tree considered spiritually aligned with the season. This log was meant to burn slowly, often over several winter nights. The glow it produced held symbolic meaning, believed to strengthen the household and encourage good fortune. The choice of wood and the way it caught fire were observed closely, as people believed these details revealed important messages about the months ahead. These customs demonstrated how deeply the Norse connected their lives to the natural world. Sacred evergreens represented endurance, guidance, and the quiet persistence of life. Their presence shaped how communities interpreted winter and prepared themselves for the coming thaw. Each tree stood as a reminder that even in the hardest season, the rhythm of nature continued to move toward renewal. If you are enjoying this journey into ancient Norse traditions, make sure to subscribe to Best of History and Mythology, leave a like, and activate the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the ancient world. During the longest nights of winter, the Norse believed that the boundaries between worlds grew thinner. This period invited moments of heightened intuition, making it an ideal time for rituals focused on insight and spiritual guidance. People gathered in quiet spaces away from the noise of daily life to observe signs that might reveal future events. These nights were not filled with fear, but with focused attention, as many saw midwinter as a rare window into hidden knowledge. Such moments became foundational for what is now called Norse winter divination, a practice deeply rooted in ancient northern culture. Seers known as völur held an especially respected role during these long nights. Wrapped in ceremonial garments, they entered deep states of concentration to interpret messages believed to come from forces beyond human perception. Their tools varied, but each item carried symbolic meaning connected to the natural world. The völur used rhythmic chants and controlled breathing to sharpen their senses, allowing them to detect subtle signs that others could not perceive. Villagers sought their guidance to understand potential challenges, opportunities, and shifts in fortune. In family homes, simpler forms of divination took place around the hearth. People observed the movement of fire, the shapes formed by melting wax, or the way shadows danced across the walls. These natural patterns were considered reflections of unseen influences. Dreams were also taken seriously, especially when they occurred during the solstice nights. Many believed that ancestors could reach out more easily during this season, sending symbolic messages meant to guide their descendants. Such dreams were discussed openly the next morning and interpreted with care. Runes played a central role in private divination sessions. Individuals scattered rune pieces across cloth or fur and studied their placement. Each symbol carried layered meanings tied to themes like protection, endurance, transformation, or hidden threats. Understanding these symbols required patience and familiarity, making runic casting a valued skill within many households. People used these readings to set intentions for the coming months, choosing paths of action they hoped would attract favorable outcomes. The combined effect of these practices shaped how communities navigated both daily life and future plans. When winter uncertainty cast a shadow over the land, these divinatory moments offered reassurance and clarity. The belief that unseen forces could offer guidance strengthened the sense of connection between the human world and the spiritual realms. For the Norse, the long night was not simply a period of darkness, but an opportunity to listen, observe, and gain insight into the unfolding year ahead. Do you believe that dreams, symbols, or natural signs can reveal hidden truths or guide important decisions, the same way the Vikings believed during Yule? Let me know in the comments. At the heart of Norse midwinter traditions lies a concept far more profound than seasonal celebration. Yule was not designed as a tribute to earlier generations, nor as a simple marker of the year's turning. It carried a deeper worldview rooted in the belief that time was cyclical, constantly renewing itself. The rituals of the season were intended to activate this renewal, anchoring the community within a cosmic rhythm that required human participation. This perspective reveals that Yule was a deliberate effort to influence the unfolding structure of existence. In ancient northern thought, the universe operated through cycles of creation, decline, and rebirth. The midwinter period represented a moment of suspension, a pause in which the energies of the world were believed to gather before beginning their ascent. Yule retold this cosmic story, not through words, but through symbolic action. The lighting of fires, the gathering of evergreens, and the practice of reflection were all understood as acts that supported the renewal of the world. By performing these seasonal customs, people helped guide the transition from darkness into emerging vitality. The ceremonies of midwinter were seen as catalysts that realigned the natural forces governing the land. People believed that without these rituals, the rhythms of the earth could falter, leading to imbalance. Through their participation, communities affirmed their responsibility to help sustain the world's ongoing regeneration. This worldview transformed Yule into a living myth, one where ordinary individuals contributed to the health of the cosmos. The season became a time when actions carried amplified meaning, and the collective spirit shaped the trajectory of the coming year. What makes this understanding extraordinary is how it redefines Yule itself. It was not merely a festival rooted in ancestral memory, but a functional event meant to reset the universe's energetic pattern. The solstice moment symbolized the lowest point in the cycle, making it essential for people to reinforce harmony through intentional practices. This belief turned Yule into a rare opportunity to restore balance, renew purpose, and influence the unseen forces shaping destiny. Recognizing Yule as a cosmic reset transforms the way its traditions are viewed today. It highlights how ancient northern cultures perceived themselves as participants in something far larger than seasonal change. Their actions during this period symbolized cooperation with natural cycles, ensuring that light, life, and order would return. Yule's deeper meaning lies in this shared responsibility, revealing a worldview where human intention played a vital role in sustaining the universe. May the light guide your path until our next journey together. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video, here on Best of History and Mythology.